Hello, I'm here to review A Plague Tale Requiem. I recently finished a playthrough of this game and I was absolutely floored by just the beauty of the entire experience.
Keep running!
Over here you can see exactly how beautifully the foliage inside of the game was done, and you get a bit of a sense of just the engrossing atmosphere of everything. It's really incredible.
He's coming!
Ha! Bloody brambles! You're going too
Another
fast
thing
for
about
me.
the game that I really enjoyed was the juxtaposition between how they are the really intense, suspense-filled moments and
Doesn't he ever get
these
tired?
softer
I really should get back to studying.
slice of life moments
We had a
where
long journey today.
everybody just connects with each
Please,
other on
Mother
an
said to
emotional
try
level.
To exhaust him.
Yeah, this game really
Be
plays on
brave,
your
sorcerer.
heartstrings later
The fight
down
is far from over.
through the playthrough, but
Your
it's
mother's
just
going
so
to wonder where we are.
so beautiful.
It's been a long
I
road.
feel
You
that
have the
it was
right
a
to
nice
stretch your
change of
legs.
tone compared to other video games, because other games often have one tone throughout the gameplay experience.
Just kidding. I'll help you.
You're too heavy anyway.
How dare you?
One day I'll be able to.
But for like that, for example, what a nice joke to include in your game.
Person is
You know, just a
huge.
little bit of
What do you
sibling
say? Do we
commentary
attack it?
going on over
All
there.
right, I'm ready.
Ooh,
Now,
I feel
the game
evil
does
around
have
us.
some of
It's a
the
bit dark.
typical
Okay, come on.
tropes
They don't
of
expect us to
games
sneak
that
in.
we've come to
Yes.
recognize. Well, I'm not exactly sure about
I'm
everywhere,
with you.
but
Don't worry.
I have
I
a
think the
feeling
sorcerer's men are
that
close.
crawling through tight spaces like that is a bit more of an engaging way to load the
Are
next
you hurt?
section. And I actually
Smells like
enjoy
a
that in games
fireplace.
nowadays
Yes.
because the alternative was always a loading screen. So that's also a win in my book. But here you have another example of how the scene or the tone of the game just changes so quickly.
These baskets.
Because there they were
They're
just
beehives.
talking about exploring a
Why
castle,
are they
and now they
burnt?
come to this
I don't know.
desolation.
Let's be discreet. The people.
So it's a nice way to vary up your experience of it as well. And again, the music for this game is
This way.
awesome. Just that atmosphere of this is just breathtaking.
Hey!
What's going on?
How many of you are there?
Wait. We didn't mean to trespass. We felt.
He's still behind
And then you get
us.
this kind of
Keep an eye out for an
creepy as
exit.
all hell scene where a dude with a
Through here.
beekeeper
Keep
mask
up, Connor.
just comes, and those things are cuck scary. Like geez, if I was to see someone with those kinds of masks, I would shit myself.
Gate over there. Let's
So it's a cool inclusion in a game that's actually about the plague.
Stop, please.
And
You were Dad's biggest
there are these
mistake.
really
But I will
real
fix it.
Stop.
Hugo, stay
scare
behind.
moments throughout the game like this,
Who are you?
where
We got
it's just
lost.
so
We're leaving.
brutal.
Just let the boy go.
It's hard to explain. And a lot of games, I feel, don't have
No, we just
an
arrived.
adequate level of game
Listen,
feel
it's
to
our
them.
fault if he was late.
You have no right to be here.
And that's like,
Remy,
just look
you
at the
have
game
it.
feel over here in this
And don't
next part.
disappoint me.
It's ridiculous. You can
But the
feel
boy,
almost
he's
the
the right
tremors
age
that
to learn.
everyone's going through,
You shouldn't have come.
and the impact of things.
You don't want to do this, believe me.
You talk too much.
And the game doesn't rely on like some screen shake, or impulse shakes or anything like that. It's just pure music and like the content of the scene that causes it, which I really like.
Breathe.
Now, one of the favorite things about the music in this game is just the absolutely beautiful choral soundtrack, where, for anyone that doesn't know, that's choir singing in the background.
Need my sister.
Like
Mommy.
you'll see now, the combination of that and the absolutely stunning visuals is
Maybe they're through here.
truly impactful. This game is really a work of art.
Art? Oh, what is this place? Amicia? Mummy? Lucas? Where are you? I feel bad. It hurts.
All due accolades to the composer of this music, because
Please.
the change in tone, even going from normal major and minor scales to this dissonant music, is breathtaking, really. And I know I'm saying that a lot,
Screeching
but
and help me.
as an artist, this game just appeals to me so much.
Find them.
Now, I wouldn't necessarily
Help me.
play such a story-driven game, in as much as the game kind of has limited
Not that.
mechanics,
Leave me alone.
but
Leave me alone.
I did find that this was a great game to play after I was already playing a really stimulating like FPS game, or something that needed a bit more concentration or was a bit more multivariate with regards to how I can interact with the game, especially when I was playing multiplayer stuff and I just wanted to chill with some just by myself. Then this is just this was basically like watching a movie or a series, but wanting to take part in the movie as well. And I feel that there's a place for this kind of cinematic video game in the future, because we get so inundated with the normal stuff, and sometimes I also want to get swept along in the story without being as passive as a film.
You!
Steady, don't miss.
She's going to hell! And you with her!
I said
This is about the limits to the mechanics of the game. You have the basically the aiming function of the game and the firing function in the game, and then you select your ammo type. And there is a little bit of variation in how you propel your projectiles, but
Hugo.
that's most of the combat mechanics in the game, apart from very limited physical interactions as well, which are stealth based. And I feel that that's well placed for this game, because
It's all right.
realistically she is a girl in the medieval world where, you know, people are trained for actual combat, but she does get a lot of moments to actually shine as well. And I like
Trying to.
the ludonarrative synchrony inside of the game, because she actually kind of starts to,
Don't hurt me!
I don't want to say
We're not
enjoy
with those men.
the combat and the brutality,
Calm down.
but
We're not with those
you do
men.
get a bit of that vibe,
You live here?
without me spoiling anything deep about the story. This is the cool part of the game, and where it really gets interesting for me, because the degree to which the rats swarm and the threat that they pose throughout the game, I think is really well handled. Honestly, although I said that it's a good thing that the game is so cinematic, and even if that entails a lot of limitations to how you can interact with the game, I do still think that there could have been a few more mechanics that they could have included, or at least that they could have made more chances to explore the world without relying so heavily on cutscenes, because a lot of the gameplay experience is in fact reliant on basically watching a movie. So I felt a lot of the time there would be a stretch of 3 or 5 minutes or whatever where I would just be watching a cutscene happen before I could resume with the gameplay. And because a lot of the gameplay is
I can. You won't have my brother.
either traversing to a new area or stealth based, I did feel that there could have been a bit more of a combat element or perhaps a bit more puzzle elements to the game. But overall, it was a beautiful cinematic experience. The artistry behind it was stunning. The photorealism. There's a photo mode which allows you to basically take photos of whatever. And yeah, this probably the biggest props again goes to the musical composer, because the score for this game was absolutely amazing. It's helped to enmesh me with the narrative so much. And in the truly intense moments of the game, I almost felt like crying, where the feels hit me truly hard. And
gone,
I can only attribute that to the great story, but most of all to the music.
I'll be alone.
So please give a Plague Tale a try if you can.
All alone.
If you have someone in your life who really enjoys movies but doesn't necessarily enjoy video games, this could get them to try a bit more and help them to take that level to the apex of all media, in my opinion, which is video games.
I remember.
Give it a go.